Look at the face. But yes, we are going to play some more Final Fantasy XIV. We're going to finish off Dreams of Ice. And if I've got it in me, we're going to try and do, I can't remember what it's called. It's the next one with Keeper of the Lake. Gnome Breeder. Mother. If you ask me, there's naught to be gained from mulling over the implications of your story in the freezing cold. Let's save it for the Rising Stones, eh? I'll get everyone to meet us there. But before that, you'd best pay a visit to Whitebrim Front and speak with Alphino. He's probably worried sick about you. That, or he's busy playing politics with the Ishgardians. Either way, I'm sure he'll be delighted to see you hale and healthy. Speaking of which, you don't have a headache or anything, do you? No? Blurred vision? Oh, no reason. See you again soon. I think so. We're closing in. We're closing in. We are closing in. Grizz with the 23 months. Thank you, Grizz. How are you? Heck is you. And Kadali! Thank you for joining the Cosmos. Kadali is from my WoW Raiding Guild, folks. Why is there, like, no music right now? It's a bit eerie. I'm doing good. I have had dinner, I had a day out, and now it is time for some Forpain. Very strange. Oh well. Let me just ride my haunts into the tower. I have to top up my drink soon. There she is, and none the worse for wear. Was there ever any doubt that the Warrior of Light would succeed? I think I speak for us all when I say that I'd like nothing more than to hear the stirring tale of your victory, if you'd be so kind. I do have nightmare. Then we were too late to prevent the summoning. But not too late to prevent further loss of life, an outcome worthy of celebration. And one for which we have Luna to thank. Yes, you are right, of course, Sir Memnick. We're already off to the flubs. We should be content with what we have accomplished. I, for one, could have not wished for a better outcome. Shiva is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. Either it's the matter of Iceheart's escape, but she cannot run forever. Whether it takes days, weeks, moons, or even years, my knights will find her. In the meantime, Lord Ramon, is the caravan ready? The supplies that your men recovered have been prepared for transport, in accordance with your wishes. Rest assured, my knights will see them safely to Revenant's Toll. Of that, I have no doubt. Then I take it this is the same self-supply as the heretics stole from House Fortante's caravan? Lest the crystals which compromised the bulk of the shipment, yes. Scarcely a fraction of what was promised, but a meaningful contribution to your cause all the same. Ah, on an unrelated note, Luna, might I trouble you to accompany me to Camp Dragonhead at your earliest convenience? It is not for my benefit. A certain lord was most distressed when he learned of your intent to risk life and limb to stop Iceheart. It took a half a dozen knights to restrain him, I am told. Reaction. Haunts Game 14. Hi, Kev. Men give vent to their anxieties in a myriad of ways. Pray do not think less of him. Haunts Game. Hey, look! Nightmare haunts. Hi, Earth! Or shall I say, Yarg? Yarg! On street. On street. Yeah, I think the only one we need now is Shiva. But we can do that a little bit later. I want to try and push through story as much as I can today. The dream would be to catch up on 14 before next expansion, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Not unless I really commit. We will have to see. I lost my house on my main, by the way, guys. I forgot to log in on her and go in the house. So I get my friend tells me, my friend Hodie's like, hey, you know you've lost your house, right? And I was like, fuck. No worries at all, Earth. It is appreciated. What were you thinking, Luna? Waging your very being on a dubious theory which might allow you to enter Iceheart's lair, knowing full well that she could have sufficient forewarning to complete a ritual to summon Shiva anyway. And then engaging the abomination in mortal combat, by the fury, Luna, 'tis the stuff of ballads, a battle for the ages, would that I had been there to fight by your side. Yet here I was forced to wait, condemned to wonder at the fate of a dear friend for a veritable eternity. Heck yeah! Squad time. I would not wish such torture on my most hated enemy. Oh, but you are here now, and that is what truly matters. Let us move on. Sir Emmerich wished to have words with you and Master Alphino in private. He waits us in the intercessory. I just want to be an astrologian. I don't ask for much in life. And then I gotta get through like 20-something levels so I can do content as an astrologian. Greetings, madam. I shall show you in at once. Here we go. Please be some voice acting.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks. Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task.
Is the sound coming through? I hope it is. Okay, it is.
From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Hantanos, that's not a boy, that's the man. Or a man.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Nautalon.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy.
Alvina's face was just like, bitch!
You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now.
Garuda Prime!
And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll.
Let me kiss your face.
The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
Nibble his ears.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We too have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Emmerich, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgardsormr could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course! You sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's Toll were taken by your enemies.
Get a spirit level and check their strength. Luna just walks up with it and just stands in front of Horsefont on her tiptoes, and she's like, Give me a second. Just give me a second. Just gets really close up to his face. She's like, I need to just, make sure.
Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Face.
Choose your next words carefully.
Ooh. Literal breathing distance.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights?
I don't know, one whose dad is literally the Pope?
One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am. Now, why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learned to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
Okay, I can kind of relate to Alphado here. It is really annoying when you're trying to get something that's going to benefit your group, but you just find yourself getting dug deeper into a hole of helping other people before you even get anything back. So no, I can relate with Alphado here. This is a moment of, you fuckers.
As we are to you, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget. One born of necessity.
If Alphado could, he would just roll his eyes.
The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance.
If you haven't got any endurance for a dragon, you're a weakling. Facts.
Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them.
I do love Sam's delivery as Alphado when he's being really, catty. That is something that he did really well, was giving that sort of bratty 17-year-old, 16, well, technically Alphado's 16 here. Giving him that, energy.
I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
Lucia, at your service.
Please, can somebody make that a quote? So here's some symmetric ears.
Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
I want her hair.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone. Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you. Which reminds me, Lord Orchafon, if you would be so kind.
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Yeah, fuck Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
Just wanna be an astrologian. It would seem we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. If what you say is true, Iceheart's method of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete reprisal of the primal threat, and of our approach to combating it. Moreover, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Garlean Empire believes that primals are an insufferable menace, that their mere existence is a threat to this very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine, then, if it became known it was not only the beast tribes of Eorzea that could summon primals, but a civilized people as well. Any lingering objections to the Eorzean campaign would vanish overnight. Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could well find ourselves facing the combined might of all Garlemald. But I speak unadvisedly. Come, Luna, it is better that we continue this conversation in Mordona. Okay, let's get out of the cold. Me tits are freezing. Carter, are you doing any juggling? No? Boo. Anyone doing anything interesting? Fangfred is drunk and dead? This man is struggling? Local man cannot handle his alcohol, it appears. Oh my god, he is like dying. I've never seen this. Oh, he's gone. Good grief. Oh, Fangfred, my darling, why are you like this? Such a dad. Minfilia! Hello! Yeah, this is true. The man needs to remove himself from
Words
La Habrea.
cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole.
He's like every time I close my eyes, I see him.
Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Kurthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it. Excellent. I shall summon the others at once.
Wife.
Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Sadly, Luna's a bit of a lightweight as well.
Master Louisoir's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogglmog the 12th was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will, even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal, wielding the power of a primal.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not. But full sure am I that she was groomed for this role.
Do you know, now that Skyblaze pointed out that Uriange's ARR voice actor is also the voice of Loframar in WoW, now I hear it. And I'm like, shit, how did I not clock that? Because, you know, I'm a big fan of Loframar.
Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Possessive indeed.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
I mean, it's Loframar.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you.
Ooh, I'll have to look up who Moonbreeder's voice is, because Jaina Proudmoore is, what's a frigging name? Holy shit. Laura Bailey. Who plays Moonbreeder? She's voiced by Laura Post. What have you done, Laura Post? She's Tamayo in Demon Slayer. She's Emma Frost's voice in Marvel Rivals. So she plays Mommy's, got it. She's Mai in Jujutsu Kaisen, Kasumi in Persona 5. Oh, she's Sea Fairy Cookie in Cookie Run. I like Sea Fairy. She's Diana in Little Witch Academia. She's someone called Vermouth, or Sharon Vineyard in Detective Conan. She's Fubuki in One Punch Man. Is she Ragyo from Kill la Kill? Oh shit! Damn, she's like mommy voices.
Hear, feel, think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well. If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path? Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
You have good taste, Kadali. You have good taste.
Midgard-Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well-founded.
Guys, I'm a popular streamer. Seribot is earning its keep tonight, that's for sure.
It would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard-Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
I mean to scour the annals for knowledge of Midgard-Zoma, Given his great age, I dare say he appears in more than a few... Hmm? Do you hear that? The commotion outside. Would you see if aught is amiss? It's bots. Luna, 'tis well that you are on hand. Oh, we have a problem. Ral has escaped. It had happened shortly after the Immortal Flames took her into custody. She'd been placed in a dungeon cell ahead of her coming trial, but apparently the accommodation was not to her liking. The turnkey was found slain along with 2 guards. It is plain she received inside help. Citizens report seeing Ral quitting the city via the Gate of Nald with a bloody spear in her hand. She makes for Castrum Meridianum, I'm certain of it. With her fate in Eorzea as good as sealed, what recourse has she but to flee to her imperial masters? Even as we speak, Captain Ilberd and the First are hot upon Ral's heels. Pray, make haste to Camp Blue Fog, and join the hunt. Yo, the man still can't handle his alcohol. Okay. I'm done making fun of Fabric. Just gently patting him on the back. I can't heal this, Fankrit, I'm sorry. Whoa! Okay. That's making you fuss. My thanks for coming, Scion. I've spoken with the soldiers here. They say that Royal worked for the camp not a bell ago. She walked right through. You did not mishear. We have Raban's decision to keep the matter secret to thank for that. Bad for morale, he said. As a result, not a single flame in the garrison made any attempt to detain her. And so here we are. Ral must not be allowed to reach Castrum Meridianum. I wish I could have a deeper voice. I sadly do not. I have the hiccups, though. Yeah, but why Yu Yu Hase's voice so deep in the Japanese version? Ah! This wretch Royal, he threw himself at us till his mistress might escape. She didn't blink when we cut him down, not even when he started screaming. No loyalty even to her own, goddamn harpy. With me, Scion, we almost have her. remember what buttons I was pressing. Easy mode. Yo, guys, do you want to, like, attack the big fucking Colossus? No? Hey! They're like, nah, fam, you got this! Find her and do it tight. Yes, sir. Good work, man. She and her imperial cronies pushed us close, but we were better. Behold, respected officer of the Immortal Flames, people looked up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. Saddens me to see you fallen so low. What would you know of low? You, a spoiled little lordling who has never known any want. People such as you take wealth and birth for granted. You think it's your God's given right to rule over others. You know naught of our plight, the injustices that we low-bornish guardians must endure. To the noble lords and ladies, we're not people, but resources to be consumed. I did what I had to do to survive. Stealing, killing, even whoring myself. It is no fault of mine if fools imagined me a paragon when I joined the Flames. To hear you tell it, one would think you're the only person ever to have suffered. In case you've forgotten, Raban himself was born into poverty, as was I. We lived hand to mouth with little more than the shirts on our backs. Hunger was our constant companion. Yet never did we bemoan our lot in life, nor do we begrudge others their fortunes. We accepted the hand we'd been dealt, and played it to the best of our ability. Life was a battle, aye, but no matter what fate threw at us, we took it on the chin and came back for more. Everything we have, we fought for. How are we any different, then? 'Tis true that we were both mercenaries of lowly birth, and 'tis true that we both had our fair share of struggles. But whereas I sold my sword, you, Marshal, you sold your comrades. If life has taught me one thing, it is that you never betray your own. I would sooner cut off my own arm than raise a hand against a friend. But enough talk. You will return to Uldar to face justice, and the people whose trust you've dragged through the gutter. Enjoy your foodings! Not so much a hint of remorse. 'Tis well that this sordid business is finally at an end. A friend's betrayal cuts deeper than steel. We must hope that we have chosen our own allies more wisely than Raban chose his.
I've heard. Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Raban. There is no telling what the brute might do.
I am playing White Mage at the moment, which I guess is kind of close to Holy Priest? Question mark?
Have the blades watch him in the flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace. Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while. Nanamo Ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
Captain Ilberd and I have a few questions for the Flame Marshal regarding the circumstances of her miraculous escape. When we have completed our interrogation, we shall take our findings directly to General Raban, and that shall be the end of it. Work here is done, my friend. Many thanks. The gnome has a fabulous mustache. But I have one last task for you. Return to the Rising Stones and apprise Menphilia of all that has happened. I'm aware that the antecedent held Royal in high regard. For better or worse, she will want to know how this tale ends. Soon. Pray, return to the Rising Stones. Distinguished potato. Honestly, Lalafell are kind of more like goblins in WoW, if you want to sort of comparison. Salutations, Helper! How are you? Sleep Deprived, oh my god, join the ever-expanding cast of Sleep Deprived Live. There's quite a number of us. You should slumber. Slumber is good. Sleep good.
Welcome back, my friend. I have already received word from Alfino. To think that Flame Marshal Huayu was the Garlean agent. I know not what to say.
Huayu? Okay, that's not how I pronounce that name. At least an hour a week!
Together with Robon, Eileen lent us much needed aid at the time of our Order's founding. She was particularly passionate about the need to tackle the primal threat. When we discussed the subject, her eyes fairly shone with determination. Whatever else she may have been, I choose to believe that it was her true self with whom I spoke then. But now is not the time to dwell on such matters.
I think this one kind of slightly irritates me about Menphilia, especially when I know what she's like in 1.0.
I have an important announcement to make regarding our effort to defeat the Asians. We shall begin as soon as everyone is assembled. My thanks for coming, friends. Moonbreeder, the floor is yours.
By now, I'm sure you're all familiar with white auracite, the miraculous material that'll allow us to capture Asian souls.
Ice cream dino nuggy combo. That's a good combo. That's a good combo.
Back at Snowcloak, we verified its ability to absorb vast amounts of ether. Alas, it leaves something to be desired in the area of stability. The stone can only store ether for a short while before expelling its contents.
You know what, Kadali? There's nothing wrong with that.
In addition to Orosite's inherent limitations, we must needs be wary of our enemy's strength.
I can't unhear Lothramar now.
Our foe draweth upon an infinite wellspring of power. Even should we succeed in entrapping him, the stone will not long contain his wrath.
Meaning that, if we want to kill the swine, we'll have to be quick about it.
'Tis our belief that an Ascian soul may be permanently undone, if smitten by a sufficiently concentrated burst of pure ether.
The only trouble is, we can't say for sure how concentrated the burst needs to be. Without knowing how much ether an Ascian soul is composed of, we're basically guessing.
Oh shit, crossover! It's secretly Lothramar in disguise.
Our sole clue lieth in thy struggle with La Hebrea.
Bread.
During that encounter, Heidelin bid you forge what she called a Blade of Light, a weapon which took the form of a luminous stream of energy.
I saved some time and effort by putting the ice cream on the chicken nuggies. Shit was warm and crunchy. Helper! Am I gonna have to go summon Kev to get an intervention rolling with you? First the Mountain Dew, now that. Cursed.
Based on your description, we believe the blade with which you vanquished your foe was composed of ether. Admittedly, your victory proved ephemeral, as La Hebrea was able to use a crystal of darkness to flee into the space that lies between our world and the void. The fact remains, however, that Heidelin placed the means to destroy the Ascians in your hands. Be that as it may, it would be unwise to assume that she will do the same when we next encounter such a foe.
Nah.
Quite so, my lady. We must needs find the means to forge our own blade of ether, one to equal that which Heidelin did benevolently bestow upon her champion.
I don't know if I want to let you cook, Helper. It sounds like a very bad idea.
That is all well and good, but it seems to me that producing such a blade will require a prodigious quantity of ether. Whence will it come, pray tell?
Oh, what if we had 2 pieces of white orosite? One to trap the Ascian, and the other to store the ether for the blade.
Oh, nice try. But it's as I said, the stone won't hold ether for any length of time. We'd still need to collect the stuff there and then, sorry to say.
And therein lies the rub. Finding a way to create the blade whenever and wherever we choose.
Experiment's a pretty
It would
good
seem
word.
more research is in order.
I'm going to linger a while, perform a few more tests on the Orosite. And I could do with some help. Eorzea, why don't you lend me a hand?
They're so gonna smooch.
Mine apologies, but I am required at the Waking Sands. Lady Minfilia hath given me sole charge of the premises. 'Twould be unseemly to leave them unattended.
Sole charge, you say? So you're basically alone there, then? Well, that settles it. I'll just have to come to you.
I love Moonbreeder. She's like, sod it. Some alone time? We can be nerds together? Heck yeah.
While you were afield, word arrived from the Sharlayan motherland. You will recall that a survey party was dispatched to investigate the incident at the Isle of Val. What they discovered was troubling, to say the least. According to the report, the Isle has been erased from existence. 'Twas as if a hole had been torn in the very fabric of reality.
Aye, yet the mystery endeth not with the Isle's disappearance. It hath come to light that a number of scholars in various other locales were reported missing at a similar juncture.
What's more, they all had something in common with the head of the students of Baldessian. Every last one of them was researching a phenomenon called dimensional compression, or the rejoining as the ancient texts call it. I'll be damned if that's a coincidence.
All indications suggest Ascian involvement, but I sense that a force greater still is at work. The entity the Dark Beings call the One True God.
Get it, random elfish-looking man whose name evades me. That's Eorzea.
We must pray that my dear friend Kryl regains consciousness soon. If she bore witness to the Isle of Val's final moments, she may be able to shed some light on this mystery.
Meanwhile,
following the calamity, the forces of the 14th Imperial Legion entrenched themselves in strategic locations across Eorzea. So swiftly did they accomplish this, it was suspected that they had received help. To think that it came from Huayu, my right hand.
There is more. We have reason to believe that Huayu didn't deal exclusively with the 14th. She also answered to a higher authority in Garlemald.
Eorzea! And yes, I put it in caps on purpose.
But this higher authority could not have been the Emperor. By consenting to the Media Project, Solus Zos Galvus showed himself to be more concerned about preventing the spread of primal influence than claiming Eorzea for the Empire. He would happily have seen the lot reduced to ash. We believe a number of high-ranking figures within the royal household were against the decision, but that they knew better than to oppose the Emperor openly. Of course, this didn't prevent them from making clandestine provisions, in which Huayu played a part.
Uranus!
Alas, these provisions did not prevent Dalamud from falling, and the ensuing chaos changed the face of the realm forever. Yet Eorzea survived. To all intents and purposes, the Meteor Project had failed, and the Empire was left to rue its lack of a decisive means to eliminate the primals. Until, that is, it stumbled upon the Ultima weapon.
Bean! How are you, Finn? Hi!
Even before the accursed thing was dug up, it seemed to me the 14th had the might to overwhelm our weakened armies. Yet they chose to hide behind their walls. Why?
Cat on the moon!
The Black Wolf was wary of making the denizens of Eorzea desperate, lest more primals emerge to bleed the land. The discovery of the Ultima weapon, however, emboldened him to resume his war of conquest in earnest.
But there was one in Garlemald who believed that Van Belsar's actions were premature. One who stood higher in the Imperial Army's chain of command. He ordered the Legatus to halt his advance, only to find that the Black Wolf had slipped its leash, and that the 14th now acted alone.
You'll put it. I'm doing good, Fen. How are you?
In a bid to bring Van Belsar to heel, he used the agent he had planted in Ul'dah prior to the calamity to undermine the Legion's efforts.
A man who outranks Van Belsar had opposed the late Emperor's decision to annihilate Eorzea. This could only be the former High Legatus of the Garlean army, now known as Emperor Varus Zos Galvus.
Just casually breaking ankles.
So he was Huayu's true master.
But one of several in actual fact. We've learned that even as Huayu served the Empire's interests, she sold Imperial secrets to a certain faction in Eorzea. In so doing, she helped to maintain the status quo, thus prolonging the conflict. Considering who stands to profit from war, it isn't hard to imagine who her other masters were.
7 hells! You mean to say that she was a double agent?
Triple, if you consider her services to Van Belsar and the new Emperor as separate.
As neatly as these pieces seem to fit, one aspect of the puzzle remains unclear to me.
We got them thick necks.
By whose will was the Marshal feeding intelligence to the heretics? And try as I might, I fail to see how aiding their cause would profit either her Imperial or Monetarist masters.
Aggressively nods.
Could it be that another hand is at work here? If so, why you must be made to reveal whose it is.
Not only have I lost a trusted friend, now I must interrogate her as a stranger.
Not a pleasant task, I grant you, but a necessary one. Unless we weed out the ivy, root, stalk, and stem, it will simply grow back.
I know that full well. Those closest to Huayu have already been detained, and I will question them alongside her.
Oh, no, Kadali. Man with scars. I'm just saying.
General, pray keep in mind that there may be unwitting abettors among them.
All will be treated fairly. On that you have my word. Those who are innocent have no cause to fear.
You have ever been a friend of truth, General. I hope the unpleasant task of weeding out falsehood will not detain you too long. Though it be for the sake of Eorzea, doubting one's comrades is poison to the soul. And with that, I take my leave.
All these years, I've been made to dance to their tune. How could you, Huayu? How could you side with them? Those cankers who take from this land and give naught in return, who use their power to disempower and grow fat while the people starve. I know you can hear me, monetarist scum! Your crimes will not go unpunished! Today I will purge this land of your sickness before the eyes of the 12, I swear it!
Ah!
I shall have no further need of you this day. Your Grace.
Hoo-wah!
I fear that not even mine own chambers shall remain private for long.
Has the situation grown so grim?
Ever since he proposed the Cartiner Reclamation Bill, Teleji Adeleji has risen to greater prominence upon the backs of impoverished refugees.
Okay, ladies, I really appreciate you having a serious conversation, but... Muffin. I think that's like an apple tort, or maybe an upside-down pineapple cake? Maybe? Muffin.
The monetarists were ever united in their pursuit of profit, but the man's actions have torn a rift in their ranks. They snap at each other as rabid dogs.
Oh, her name is just Lady in Waiting.
Yet now is not the time to be bickering among ourselves.
If this bickering is a threat to law and order, might you not have grounds to dissolve the Syndicate?
Mother.
Would that the solution were so simple, Admiral. Alas, my moving to dissolve the Syndicate is certain to spark outrage among the influential merchant class, whom the Cabal represents. This would serve to exacerbate the current unrest, and peace would slip still further away. Be they rich or poor, natives or refugees, all who who reside in Ul'dah have a right to pursue happiness. It is the duty of a ruler to protect this right.
Eat the rich.
If I am to perform my duty, I must needs tread warily. It would not do to make enemies heedlessly. Were Lord Lolorito here, he would doubtless say that I have my head in the clouds.
A ruler is required to take a wide view. Try as we might to cater to all needs, some will inevitably be overlooked. As such, there shall ever be citizens who feel aggrieved. It cannot be helped. But as you have informed us, the monetarists take no view but their own. They hunger for power while the masses starve. In the absence of a common cause, it seems beyond any one individual to make Ul'dah whole.
And the presence of a Garlean agent within the immortal flames only makes matters worse.
Nuh-uh, make enemies of everyone, profit later, play the long game.
Even accounting for Uldah's historic reliance upon mercenaries, such a grievous breach of security is unprecedented. I fear this business will provide the monetarists with a rod to beat Rauban.
Eorzea can ill afford for the immortal flames to be dampened now. Ere long, the Garleans will turn their ravenous gaze toward our lands once more. If we are to resist their might, our nations must stand together. Yet for this to happen, our nations must be whole. Cannot be done to improve the situation in Ul'dah.
The true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her citizens. Alas, the citizens shall never know these things, so long as their lives are ruled by the ambitions of the few.
Cake.
The monetarists claim to represent the best interests of the people, but in sooth they desire only to manipulate them for their own selfish ends. For the government to serve the people, it must be formed of the people. For Ul'dah to move forward, it is not only the Syndicate that must be dissolved.
Nay, you jest.
My friends, it was for no other reason than to make known to you mine intent that I requested your presence here. When I make my declaration to the people, chaos shall inevitably ensue. As the last monarch in the line of Ul, I make unto you this request. Help Rauban to preserve order and protect the people. Forsake them, and you forsake yourselves, for a strong Eorzea will ever have need of a strong Ul'dah.
Your Grace, are you certain of this?
Fen's like, you're just gonna have to wait.
There is no other way.
It's about legacy.
When
Money.
the time is ripe, the nation shall become a true republic. Both royalists and monetarists shall cease to be. Ul'dah will no longer belong to kings or queens or merchant princes, but to her people. Rauban, forgive me for casting aside all that you have toiled for in my name. Beyond this gesture, I am powerless to help my subjects.
At least you have cake. At least you have cake. Hey, Dreams Device is done. Onward! I'm most eager to address the Asian threat. However, we dare not neglect our other pressing concerns. We both know full well that Saint Shiva will not be the last primal we face, and our relationship with Ishgard is still tenuous at best. To think that the resolution of the primal threat was once the sole priority of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Some days I wonder if it was wise for us to take on so many other responsibilities. Lest you not forget, Antecedent, the Scions need not shoulder the burden alone. Were not the Crystal Braves established for this very reason? True, we are presented with a multitude of problems. However, we have all the resources we need to address them in turn. Luna, in particular, is ever a steadying hand, who I trust will continue to support the Braves. To what do we owe this pleasure? Has there been any further developments regarding the situation in Uldar? As expected, the Immortal Flames have been struggling to cope with the revelation that one of their highest-ranking officers was a Garlean agent. Suffice it to say, Telegiad Delegi and his monstrous ilk have wasted no time in attempting to turn the situation to their advantage. Coupled with ongoing unrest, the Flames are finding themselves hard-pressed. Plainly, General Raban needs our help, and I will direct the Crystal Braves to offer what support they can. If I'm to stay abreast of the latest developments and issue effective orders, however, I cannot afford to waste time travelling back and forth. And so, for the foreseeable future, I think it is for the best if I were to remain in Uldar, unless you have an objection. This is a 16-year-old who is playing politics. And is about to get a very nasty reality check soon. None whatsoever. We have matters here well in hand. Moonbridge's research is proceeding as planned. So she tells me, though I am not familiar with the details. Urianje is poring over his tomes at the Waking Sands, and the others are contributing in their own ways. Alas, the key problem, how to form an ethereal blade at will, remains unsolved. Nevertheless, it is only a matter of time. Luna, while we focus on that task, mayhap you could assist Alphino and his brave with theirs. It would do much more to forestall faith in the Immortal Flames if the Warrior of Light was seen working on their behalf. Never forget that your esteemed status allows you to act in ways that those more tightly bound to organizations and nations cannot. As ever, I implore you to do so. Not that your response was ever in doubt, but I humbly thank you once more for aiding our cause. Help us, like, I should have phrased that better. I didn't mean it like that, I meant it like this. Now then, there are preparations I must attend to before my departure, such as receiving Raoul's latest report. He has proven to be quite skilled at gathering information others wish kept secret, and so I placed him under my direct command and ordered him to investigate the Uldan riots. When you're finished here, join me outside. Depending on what he has to say, I may soon have a favour to ask. Alphino is a cinnamon roll, and a nerd. He is a nerd. If there are any developments on our front, I shall inform you at once in the usual fashion. He is a nerdy little cinnamon roll. Pleasure as always, Luna. You'll be escorting the commander to Uldar, take it? Actually, I have another task in mind for her. If you'd be so kind as to repeat your report for her benefit. Right then. Me and mine have been making inquiries into source of weapons what found their way into refugee hands a while back. So happens we caught wind of something promising. A rather large purchase of sharp and pointy things by a black marketeer held up near Eyebridge. I doubt that this man would have secured such a quantity of weapons if he didn't already have clients waiting. Clients that, for whatever reason, would prefer for this transaction to remain secret. Brings to mind the merchant which caught an arrow while talking to Luna, done it? Generous fellow he was, doling out swords and spears to the downtrodden and disgruntled. Which isn't to say that these clients have the same mischief in mind, but if you want to be sure, it might be prudent to intervene before they collect their goods, savvy? Seizing the weapons before they fall into the wrong hands would be for the best. However, if we strike at the appointed hour, we might capture the Black Marketeer as well as his clientele. What say you, Luna? And it is settled. Rendezvous with Captain Ilbert at Highbridge and intervene when the exchange takes place. Now then, if you would excuse me, I must leave for Uldar. I expect good tidings. Ride the lustrous dog! Oh dear. Yeah. Yeah, it does sound a little odd out of context, doesn't it? I did nearly buy the Crescent Moon mount for myself, but I've got to be good because I need to buy concert tickets soon. I still haven't bought them. Ah, Luna. My scouts have been keeping a close eye on the Black Marketeer, and it would seem that his guests have arrived. It would also seem that he hired more than a few men to stand guard. Common folks of no consequence, but they nevertheless pose a threat. Even so, I feel compelled to apologise. It was far beneath a woman of your standing. Commander Levior needn't have dispatched you hither. But powerful men have need of loyal, able-bodied friends. Having found one in you, it is only natural that he would come to rely upon you without hesitation. Now then, we should make for the burning wall without delay and secure these weapons. The first unit will ensure that the clients do not escape. With me, Luna. Away! Ba, ba, ba. Aunts. To me, Luna! And away he vanishes. I spy the one man, but there are sure to be others. I have a plan. While you approach the sentry and create a distraction, my men and I will slip past and catch the Black Marketeer unawares. Once you've disposed of the thugs, wait for us outside the tunnel entrance. Any questions? Let us be off. Good luck, my friend. There he goes. Who goes there? An adventurer? Damn fool, you should have never come here. Sense a hostile presence. Yeah, do you know who the hostile presence is? It's me! You are hired bandit 1 and you are hired bandit 2. All you're going to be known as. I don't understand. What's this all about? Ah! Alright, who's dying in here? It's kind of like Holy Priest proceeds to throw bombs. To be honest, it's hard to make comparisons with the healers in WoW versus the healers in 14. As you can see, this is a fine mess. I tried to restrain him, he drew a hidden blade and lashed out. Before I could disarm him, one of my subordinates panicked, and this is the result. How foolish of me to underestimate the bastard, and to bring an inexperienced recruit. Commander Levio will be most disappointed. That's a healer! Damn it all. A golden opportunity wasted. Healers in this game have to do damage, as well as heal. Bro, trust me. As for the clients, though we know not how, they slip past our perimeter. At present, the First is currently tracking a party of Duskright sellswords we suspect may be them. Would that we could have enlisted the aid of the immortal flames of the brass blades. Alas, we're here to aid them. They're in no position to aid us. At the very least, we've secured the weapons, yet even that accomplishment is lacking, for the information we've received indicated a massive shipment, and this is anything but. Holier than thou, Yu-Gi-Oh player, nerd who makes fairy do the healings, and laser mage. You're not wrong about laser mage. I will join the First in their hunt for the Duskright sellswords. If the gods are good, we will catch them before they escape into the Black Shroud. In the meantime, I ask you to deliver these weapons to Uldar in my stead. Trust them to the third Yu Hase. We'll take care of the rest. Wait, where is he? Okay, Weaver's Guild. I did not mean to yawn. Good grief. Sorry. The Warrior of Light, ever a reliable friend to the Crystal Braves. Give my deepest thanks for your assistance in Kurthus. What brings you to us this day? I got stuff. You want stuff? Sounds like I dropped the body on the floor. A gift of weapons from a certain black marketeer, courtesy of Captain Ilbert, you say? Understood. Once we've catalogued the contents, I'll have them delivered to the Hall of Flames. This cannot be everything, can it? Raoul stated with confidence there'd be a far greater quantity of weapons. Dead, I thought you killed someone. Drop that shit on the short one's head. Oops, my bad. Blatant falsehood. Clearly Raoul is unfamiliar with the ways of Uldar merchants who ever strive to present themselves as greater than they are. We should be thankful that this information was not completely erroneous and that we managed to achieve anything of worth at all. There's still something worth celebrating, isn't it, Lieutenant? Besides, we've got more important things to worry about, like fighting those Garleans up north. There'll be no fighting if I have anything to say about it. Our orders is to stand watch, not to seek glory in battle. If you have no further need of us, then I should take my unit to the Cerulean processing plant. Time for the Fourth to earn their keep, eh? Fight well, Alian, for the freedom of all. And away they go. Excellent work as always, my friend. Rest assured that the immortal flames will hear of your contribution. Until we meet again. There he goes. Luna, a word if you please, here. Not here. Look for me at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. No need for whistling this time, don't you worry. Chicken pie! Chicken pie sounds good. I had lasagna ravioli today. It was very nice. It's not what I expected, but it's very nice. Meet me under the cherry blossom tree. Thanks for indulging me request. Few places better than the market for privacy, I find. All the hustle and bustle of commerce means more conversations go unnoticed. I'll get to the point. At the Burning Wall, when you and the captain interrupted the exchange, what happened? Tell me everything, leave no detail out. Oh god, Kadali. I couldn't do that. That's not quite how the first told it. These dust rights they were chasing, latest word is we lost the trail. You never saw them yourself? Not before the fighting started, and not after. Something ain't right. I don't know what it is, but I can feel it in me bones. I'm not daft enough to be misled by some merchant's drunken boasts. Our information was reliable, goddamn. I know he purchased those weapons. As if I've never deciphered a moneylender's books or had to follow a transaction back to its source. Did plenty of that back when the Braves were getting started, believe me. The commander wanted assurances that we weren't taking Gil for the wrong sort of benefactors. Of course, these days, that money flows like water, and the first and third get the shiniest new toys. Yeah, that's right. Everyone's like, we really like you, Warrior of Light, but no one will speak up for you. And the ones who do speak up for you are just, like, sadly inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. Oh, forgive me, friend. I've a lot on my mind these days, and I appreciate you lending an ear. Alright then, let's get back to it. Luna, can you hear me? This is Sataru. Your presence is urgently requested at the Rising Stones. Please come and see me as soon as you're able. Hi! That was the wrong command. No. I like that glam. It's a really nice glam. Now I must away. Goodbye. My back. Oh god, I just stretched and heard everything crack. Did you flip someone up instead of a thumbs up? There's no slash insult, sadly. Thank you for coming so quickly, Luna. We have a guest from Ishgard who wishes to speak with you. A most, determined lady, by all indications. Our guest is with the antecedent in the solar at present. Let's not keep them waiting any longer, shall we? Okay, Frankfurt's now recovered, so what's going on now? So we've got these two chatting, those two chatting, and these two chatting. Okay, so Frankfurt's not absolutely wasted anymore. Good for him.
We have a guest from Ishgard who wishes to speak with you. I believe the two of you have met.
We have. I had hoped to speak with Commander Leveilleur as well, but I cannot afford to wait any longer. The Lord Commander sent me hither to request your aid in a matter of grave import.
You see now why I had Tataru summon you.
Now that we're all assembled, perhaps you would be good enough to elaborate on the nature of the matter which brought you to us.
The Observatorium's astrologians have sounded the alarm. Last night, the Dragonstar burned with an intensity not seen in 15 summers. Not since the Dravanians engaged the Empire in the Battle of Silvertear Skies.
The northern sky doth burn full bright upon the Wormlord's call. The red behemoth beckoneth, and flame consumeth all.
The old Curthan rhyme, aye. The brightening of the Dragonstar is said to accompany the roar of a great worm. The astrologians believe that it was Midgard Soma himself who cried out on this occasion.
After an absence of centuries, the King of Kings did return to lead his kind against the might of Garlemald.
Rianji just forever beating the spell correct.
Only to fall in his duel with the Agrius, proud flagship of the Gallian fleet. Devoid of life, his corpse remaineth entwined about the Magitech monstrosity even unto this day.
Eorzea has the right of it. Whatever this alteration in the Dragonstar portends, the Great Worm has shown no sign of life. Tataru, have the Domans reported aught out of the ordinary?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if Midgard Soma had roared, wouldn't we have heard it here in Revenant's Toll?
Roar is but a figure of speech. Dravanians can communicate in ways beyond our ken. It is for this very reason that we are forced to look for signs in the heavens. We cannot say with any confidence that a great worm roared at all, much less that it was Midgard Soma. Only by directly examining the Keeper of the Lake can we be certain. However, it will take too long to gain the Holy See's approval to dispatch the Temple Knights. Therefore, Sir Emric would entrust this task to you. Do you accept? We knew you would not disappoint us. Now, if you would excuse me, I must return and assist the Lord Commander. We have precious little time to prepare.
To prepare for what, pray tell?
When a great worm roars, his brethren cannot choose but answer. We prepare for battle.
Ooh. Forgive me if I state aught what you already know, but I would ensure that you understand the nature of your destination. As Urianger stated, what we now call the Keeper of the Lake is the wreckage of the Agrius, former flagship of the Imperial fleet, and the corpse of the worm responsible for its destruction. 15 years ago, as the next step in his campaign to subjugate Eorzea, Gaius found Balser attempted to seize control of Mordona. So massive was his force that all thought his victory a foregone conclusion. An unlikely ally came to Eorzea's aid that day. Midgard Sormir, legendary guardian of Silvertear Falls, burst forth from beneath the waters of the lake and led a host of dragons against the Gallian airship overhead. In what would later become known as the Battle of Silvertear Skies, the Great Worm felled countless airships before engaging the Agrius. In the ensuing struggle, the flagship's cerulean engines failed, and it tumbled into the lake below, yet the victory came at a great cost, for the explosion which followed claimed the life of the Great Worm as well. That same explosion transformed Silvertear Falls into the desolate wasteland it is today, draining the lake of its waters and crystallizing ether for miles around. Yet a remnant of the lake remains, and at its centre, a constant reminder of that fateful day long ago. In accordance with Sir Emmerich's wishes, our Doman allies have been standing watch over the Keeper of the Lake. It would be wise to speak with them before investigating the wreckage yourself. Be careful, my friend. We know not what dangers await you within. Now then, let us not neglect our own tasks. There's much to be done, and precious little time to do it. Right, I will be right back. And I am back. Ooh, I missed him, but good night, Kadali. See you tomorrow at raid. Alrighty. Okay, why am I doing that? It's lazy, Luna. Lazy Luna. Helper, how about we don't drink any monster and we just have the water? Hmm? That's good. Hydration is good, and then you'll sleep, and you'll be healthy and happy, and, you know, all those good things. Hydration. Whoops. You're in luck, miss. I was about to send word to Revenant's Toll about the Garleans. Of late, I've seen small airships, likely from Castrum Sentry, come and go from the Keeper of the Lake. Though I cannot say for certain at this distance. I believe they may be salvaging something from within the wreckage. Help her. Oh god, help her! Castrum's supply lines have been cut for some time, and I'd wager they're desperately in need of spare parts and other equipment. Bad helper. So it's true then. The Ishgardians honestly fear that the worm might rise again. Well, from here, that seems rather unlikely, but as assurances they want, you've no choice but to inspect the corpse in its entirety. Easier said than done, given the creatures which inhabit the wreckage, and the aforementioned Garleans won't take kindly to your presence. Sure to fire upon an airship, so I'd advise a more stealthy approach. Take this boat, and a few of your comrades to the base of the Agrius, and climb to the top. It's the only viable approach, I'd say. No, you don't get any wiggle room. No wiggle room for you. I still don't think that's a good idea. Just two friends enjoying a drink together. Just two delicate ladies. We've got our pinkies out and everything. Now is not the time for tea. Now is for the time for dungeoning. No dungeon, only G-pose. Away we go. Oh my god. I've done something to the left of my back, and it is like really bad. Every time I breathe, it hurts. Permanent T-pose. I stood in that like a dumbass. I keep letting my dot drop. Hey. Anime on my side. Don't stand in front of the enemies when you're squishy. That is a bad idea. Oh, fuck me. Barrier is no more. Nobody saw that. Oh, my nose. We're doing dungeoning. I didn't mean to hit holy! God damn it. Yeah, this is the Final Fantasy they collab with. Help was like, fuck, dude.
Who treadeth now upon my bones, and waketh me from slumber sweet? Remember, mortal, and fear me.
I'm always bad on this boss, I'm probably gonna die. I had a regen ticking beforehand. I see that, Achmorn. I see you. I did my time, fucker. Yay! Oh, my nails. Oh, my fingers.
By her gifts hast thou earned a moment's reprieve. Speak, mortal, and I shall listen. Guided by a star. My people have heard the song. Ishgard shall burn. Sons must answer for their father's misdeeds. We do not forget. We do not forgive. 7 children did I sire. One now singeth of retribution. I rise to join in the chorus. Thou art powerless to silence us, mortal. Yet thou shalt not live to labor in vain. Thy reprieve is at an end. Trickery is thy shield. This frail, ignoble creature is not gifted, but chosen. Hearken to me, Hydaelyn. I remember, and I consent. Fear not, mortal. I shall not harm thee.
Oh shit, you got that glow?
Mayhap thou thinkest me an oath breaker. Thou art mistaken. If thou comest to harm, it shall be by another's hand, not mine. I did but strip thee of thy mistress's feeble blessing. Thou didst profit much by her grace, but no more. The covenant binds me to thee.
Dragon friend!
I shall watch, listen, and wait. Fight and struggle, if it be thy will. Man hath ever coveted that which lieth beyond his grasp. midst of mine own find new life. When it hath grown whole, the loyal and penitent shall rejoice. The dragon song heraldeth our beginning and an end.
You may summon Midgardsormir. We has friend now. We has little friend. What does it look like? That's kind of cute. Yeah, you wait till I'm done eating. I have little friend too. Yay. I was beginning to fear the worst. Were those explosions I saw? Ah, but you shouldn't have wasted time talking with me. Alphino left a message stating you were to return to the Rising Stones at once. Right, I need to check something very quickly. One, two, three, 4 quests to go. 4 more quests to go, kids. I am not starting the next patch tonight because the last time I did... Okay, so this is a true story. Excuse you. I did a 9.5 hour stream to finish ARR. And I think I did Dreams of Ice, this, and the finale patch all in one sitting. I think it was nearly a 10-hour stream. I'm not doing that again. I value my sanity too much. No, I'm good. I haven't got it in me to do those kinds of streams anymore. I get tired too easily. Raised at 12 that you're hale and whole. I came as soon as Minfilia informed me of Sir Emmeric's request. You have completed your investigation of the Keeper of the Lake, I take it. Then I would hear your report. No, helper. Oh God, Fen. Oh no, no. I love you to bits, Fen, but no. You conversed with Midgardsormir? I swear, were anyone else to make such a claim, I would regard it with considerable skepticism. Are we to understand that the Worm Lord did not perish, and has in sooth lain dormant these past 15 years? Less a resurrection and more a rejuvenation for he who dwelleth in eternity, years passing as moments. It's only 17 hours! Though his words were ambitious at times, one statement left little room for interpretation. My people have heard the song, Ishgard shall burn. Clearly an attack is imminent. We must share this information with Sir Emeric immediately. However, we dare not divulge your conversation with Midgardsormir in its entirety. Even acknowledge that you heard the voice of a Dravanian is a grave but necessary risk. Lest we forget, men have been executed as heretics for declaring as much. For your own protection, and for the sake of our tenuous relations with Ishgard, the truth cannot leave this room. As for how we shall present our revelation to Sir Emeric's emissary, you may leave that to me. Pray remain here for now. Is there something you're not telling us, Luna? You seem different somehow. It is almost as if you're missing something. Something important. Okie dokie, Finn. Thank you for stopping by. And thank you for the help. 12-4 Fend? Midgar saw me, stripped you of your blessing of the light. Are you alright? How do you feel? I see. It is a relief to hear that you are otherwise unharmed. It beggars belief that any being could possess the power to deprive you of her blessing. Midgar Solmir made mention of a covenant, did he not? One of the ancient myths regarding Silvertear Falls states that when the waters came into existence, so did the Great Worm. Aphelic and Nimia, brother Time and sister Fate, decreed that Midgar Solmir ever watch over the source, from which all water and magic was said to flow. I wonder, what if this covenant was of the covenant of which he spoke? It was not the gods with whom he treated, but Hydaelyn herself. Well, if he is watching over you as he claimed, mayhap you'll have an opportunity to ask. Let us keep this matter to ourselves, and I do not wish to burden our friends needlessly. Who's just like, what do I do? Art thou a pawn, or master of thy fate? What hast thou wrought by thine own hands, mortal? And it's like, just, damn man, get involved with gods and shit.
My friend, I can scarce believe it. You confronted the Wormlord and lived to tell the tale. I give thanks to Haloni for your preservation. It is our sole cause for gladness. Your encounter with the Keeper of the Lake served to confirm our fears. A great worm has roared, and it makes little difference if it was one of the two in Eorzea or any other. The Dravanians are coming.
I am told that Ishgard has magical defenses against Dravanian attack, though I am not privy to their exact nature. Will they be enough to repel a massive force?
Ishgard has weathered countless assaults over centuries. This will be no different. And now that you have confirmed the threat, none can ignore the Lord Commander's calls for the wards to be strengthened. I dare not presume to speak for him, but I expect the Lord Commander would sing your praises. I must away, but we shall meet again soon.
Countless assaults weathered, and this will be no different? Why am I not convinced?
The Ishgards have warred with the Dravanians for centuries, nay, nearly 1,000 years. In all that time, not once have their enemies breached their defences and entered the city proper. Yet regardless of how strong these magical wards may be, I nevertheless fear that the Ishgardians are underestimating the gravity of the situation. Though it was not Midgar Solmir who roared, a call to arms by one of the First Brood cannot be ignored. Until such time they choose to request our aid, however, we can do naught but observe the situation at a distance, and pray that our fears are unfounded. Ere I forget, I believe Moonbreeder has requested a gathering of the Scions. I assume there's been some progress concerning our efforts to combat the Ascians. Pray inform her that our business with the Ishgardians is concluded for the moment, and I shall be along once I've completed my communications with the Crystal Braves. large are you, Moonbreeder? You beautiful woman. Behold! A thing! Hello again, Kev. Wait, she's over there. Where are we going? Turn around. All done with your talk of dragons? Wonderful, because Ascians are next on the menu. Let's head into the solar, shall we? Why couldn't you have just met me in there? And Breda, you beautiful woman, why could you not just met me in there?
Now that everything's calmed down a bit, relatively speaking I mean, I thought it might be a good time to share our progress on the weapon. I believe we're on the verge of a breakthrough.
Well, don't keep us all in suspense.
Just in case anyone's forgotten, let's start by reviewing what we already know. So, an Ascian is an immortal because its soul doesn't return to the ethereal realm when its host is defeated. Instead, it flees to the place that lies between our world and the void.
I hope you're taking notes, chat.
Therefore, the first step to permanently defeating an Ascian is preventing its soul from making this journey. And if you recall, when we last gathered here, I had verified that white Eorzea has adequate capacity to entrap the beings, albeit only briefly.
Which left the small matter of their extermination.
Aye. To unmake an Ascian soul, one must needs smite it with a concentrated burst, or blade, of purest ether. However, we wanted for both the data and the means to forge such a weapon.
Short of experimenting on an actual Ascian, you see, there's no way to gauge how much ether its soul is made of. As such, we don't know what etheric density our blade needs to have in order for it to work.
So we'll just have to make the densest blade we can and hope for the best. Though that would require a lot of ether. Hang on a minute! Why didn't we think of this before? White Eorzea can hold an absolute heap of ether, can't it?
Please tell me you're joking. God's sakes, Ida. I feel as though I'm reliving the same scene over and over with you. How many times do you need to be told that white Eorzea cannot store ether for long periods? Being intangible matter, ether is given to dispersion. Only in its crystallized form is it a stable source of energy. I will test you later on this, so see to it you do not forget.
See? See, it's gonna be a test.
Right, yes. It's all coming back to me.
So our hopes rest on good old crystals again, do they? While they are certainly reliable, they leave something to be desired in the area of portability.
Indeed. I am reminded of the quantity of corrupted crystals required to thwart Leviathan, and the extraordinary lengths to which the Lamentsons went to transport them. What if it should prove that a similar quantity was needed to destroy an Ascian's soul? Or still more?
I do not envy the poor sod who has to lug all of that around, on the off chance that an Ascian appears.
That's the very problem we set out to solve. And I reckon we've found the answer. If it isn't practical to lug around the ether we need, we'll just have to draw upon another source. And the only viable source is the land.
If you mean to tap the Great River of Ether, know that it will entail considerable risk. Meddling with the currents may well induce a surge like to the one which despoiled Mordona.
Give me a bit more credit, will you? Why would we need to tap the river when there are veritable reservoirs jutting out all over the land? I speak of corrupted crystals. It might be that their aspect is out of balance, but a crystal's a crystal. It contains ether, and we can help ourselves to it.
While corrupted crystals are indeed abundant, there is no guarantee that they will be in close proximity at a crucial moment.
But what if we don't need them to be? What if we could tap their power from afar? A malm away, say? If we could do that, we'd have ready access to ether aplenty in almost every corner of Eorzea.
Plan is coming together.
I've yet to put my theories to the proof, but I've got a good feeling about this. If no one has any objections, I'd like to see where this avenue leads.
If you think it worth your while, you have my blessing. But tell us, what are your theories? I, for one, am most eager to understand the process, however vaguely.
I thought you might say that, but no one wants to listen to boring old theories all day, do they? I know I don't. So with your permission, I'd like to try something a bit more hands-on. I've already built an etheric siphon especially for this purpose, and I've been meaning to try it out. Thing is, the profusion of corrupted crystals in Mordona makes it something of a high-risk testing ground. If anything goes awry with the siphon, it would be better if it didn't happen within spitting distance of quite so much ether. Ideally, I need an isolated specimen. Does anyone know where I can find one?
May I suggest northern Thanalan? There you will find corrupted crystals of middling size, standing a reasonable distance apart. Ideal for your needs, I should have thought. Oh, and if you do elect to visit the place, I should be much obliged if you would assist me in another matter while you are in the area.
Has something happened?
Movement has been observed at Castrum Meridianum.
Uh-oh.
During Operation Archon, the Alliance dealt the stronghold a heavy blow. Its facilities were extensively damaged, and its garrison reduced to a fraction of its former strength. Not long after our forces withdrew, however, their ranks were replenished by reinforcements from Castrum's sentry. They now seek to rebuild, and to this end they have their sights set upon the ceruleum processing plant. Having lost the Empire's support, the 14th Legion lacks the resources to sustain itself. To them, this is a bid for survival, and they will doubtless fight like desperate men. Though I have dispatched the Crystal Braves, I fear their strength alone may not suffice to stay the Imperial assault. I would request the Scion's aid in the defensive effort.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to inveigle us into fighting your battle with the promise of shiny crystals. Well then, consider me inveigled. I won't lie, the crystals you speak of sound perfect, so the Garleans have to go.
That's a good word, inveigle.
Besides, we can't afford to beat about the bush. There's no telling when the Arsians will next appear.
How she keeps calling the Asians Arsians?
Thine eagerness to hurl thyself into the jaws of danger cometh as little surprise. Exercise due caution, I prithee.
He loves her.
Though you have become a Crystal Brave, you are yet a Scion, Alphino. We could hardly refuse you. Pray, join the Crystal Braves and lend them your support. Thangrid and Papalimo shall accompany you. Ida and Yashtola, in the meantime I would have you assist Moonbreeder. Scout out the crystal clusters, that the testing may commence as soon as the Garlean threat has been eliminated.
If it please you, I shall continue mine own experiments on white Eorzea.
Thank you, Eorzea. Everyone, pray see to your preparations and depart as soon as you are able. Go well, and be safe.
Yay! Story progression, yay! 'Twould seem that events have once more conspired to rob us of rest and recoup. 'Twould seem that events have once more conspired to rob us of rest and recuperation. Though I would wish it otherwise, I must ask that you head straight away to the processing plant. A fourth will redeploy to the area and await the arrival of the Scions. Wilrid will brief you on the developing situation. Meanwhile, I must rendezvous with Captain Ilbert at our headquarters in Uldar. I shall take command of our forces there with a lighter heart, knowing that you go to support the front lines. Thanks, Alphino. Thanks, kiddo. Your duties take you to Northern Fanland, do they not? We too must say our farewells to the Rising Stones for a time. Flamin travels to Uldar, and we shall serve as her escort. At my daughter's behest, I got to contact certain old acquaintances in the Gilded City. We are beset on all sides by civil unrest and imperial machinations, threatened by primals, troubled by dragons. We need all the allies we can muster. Many of my friends hold positions of power, you see. It is my hope that they can be convinced to aid the Scion's cause. If past events have taught us anything, then we know that Eorzea must present a united front, or we shall fall. Ah, how extraordinary my little Acilia is involved in such far-reaching affairs. I am proud that I might now stand at her side, not only as a mother, but also as a colleague. Colleague with influential connections. But I fear that Uldar has become a place of danger even for one so familiar with her streets. Ah, woe betide the blackguard that so much as glares in your direction, milady. I shall be well protected, it seems. Shall we be on our way, then? Bye, friends. I'm on an adventure! Commander Lavio sent word that you'd be coming. A veteran of your talents is most welcome. Not that I don't think we can handle the situation, mind you. I've learned a trick or two since that disaster with the Amaljar. But returning to the task at hand. Flame's reconnaissance scouts have reported Imperial soldiers assembling at Raban's Push. Such a force is likely interested in only one thing, getting their hands on the resources found here at the processing plant. Garleans could start marching on us at any time. Pray speak with Lieutenant Edelstein that we might coordinate our counter-strategy. In the meantime, I will inform the others that you have arrived. No doubt it will be welcome tidings. Ooh, my legs are feeling power around the mall like I did. That's for sure. Sergeant Arcanos! Our soldiers yet tell tales of your deeds during Operation Arkan. Would it that we could sit a while and reminisce about old times, but I fear more pressing matters require our attention. The civilian draftsmen, you see, have come across several highly suspicious crates within the boundaries of the processing plant. I had my sappers take a close look, and our worst fears were confirmed. These boxes contain powerful explosive devices. Devices of Imperial design, no less. By my orders, Flame's stationed here conducting a thorough sweep of the compound as we speak. Though it troubles me that we're unable to apprehend the Imperial spy behind this, I have faith that our men will be able to neutralize the threat for now. In the meantime, our scouts bring troubling news on the latest movements of the Imperial army. I would once again ask for your aid. We've been keeping a close eye on that Garland garrison, which would seem the Imperials have finally begun to mobilize. According to the reconnaissance report that just came in, the squads seen leaving the castrum are too few in number to effectively take and hold our position. They will likely mount a swift assault and focus on the acquisition of resources. I have, of course, also shared this report with the Crystal Braves. They've decided to take to the field to meet this assault head-on. I have appraised your fellow Scions of the situation, and am heartened to know that they will be joining the effort. You report to Lieutenant Alien, and lend your much welcome strength to the counter-offensive. Okie dokie, Loki. Whole squad is here. Let's go. You've won 5 seconds of time with the Crystal Braves. Hey! Glad to have you with us, Luna. As I'm sure Lieutenant Edelstein has explained, the Garleans have deployed a small force from Castor Meridiarum. Their main column assembles to the north near Dalamud's Talons. We've also spied several squads attempting to conceal themselves on the approach to the west. They wish you to rush forth and commit to battle with the main column, leaving the detached force free to raid the plant and pillage supplies. Not much of a strategy, these are desperate men. Captain Ilberd! Greetings, Scion. I understand the commander bids you and your fellows come lend a hand to the Braves. With such mighty heroes at its disposal, the force should have little trouble contending with all the Garleans might throw at them. But even you cannot be anywhere at once. The Third were getting restless holed up in Uldar, so I marched them out here to fill any holes in the plant's defences and add their numbers to your counterattack. The reinforcements are welcome. We've enough soldiers now to divide our own forces and safely engage the enemy far beyond the walls. Aye, it would be best to avoid staging a battle anywhere near this much ceruleum. Let's take this fight to the Garleans. A wise course indeed. I shudder to think of the consequences should any of these storage tanks be exposed to fire. If there are no objections, the Scion shall join the Fourth and give battle to this main column. You're with the Third then, Warrior of Light. Your job will be to intercept these squads hiding out in the west and prevent them from reaching the processing plant. When you're ready to proceed, report to Lieutenant Yo Yuhase. His scouts should have a rough idea of where the Imperials have concealed themselves by now. Whoop whoop! Hunts. Pleasure to be fighting at your side once more, Scion. Our operations invariably succeed when you're around, and victories are wont to pave the road to greater coin. Now this detached force we've been sent to eliminate has split into smaller squads, the better to conceal themselves within the terrain hereabouts, and I imagine. We'll need to split ourselves up as well as cover more ground, and make sure we root out all those would-be raiders. Seeing as you're an army unto yourself, I've assigned you your own areas to scour clean of enemy soldiers. Aye, this will be a simple search and destroy. We'll rendezvous back here when the task is done. Happy hunting, Scion. I am a one-woman army, I suppose. Hunts. Flying hunts. Oh, hi. Easy peasy. I have the power of gun anime on my side. Ah. Excuse me, Sprite, who said you could jump in? Rude. You seem grim, Scion. Take that to mean that between us, more than a few Garleans won't be making it to the castrum. These Imperials, though, they certainly made us earn our pay. I'd be happy, man, if I never had to tussle with another of these Magitech horrors. It's time we bid this war-torn land farewell. I will contact the Fourth and let Lieutenant Alian know the West is now clear. I would appreciate if you do the same when you report to Lieutenant Edelstein. Man's like, I just want to get paid! Sergeant Arcanos, what news of the Garleans? The raiding parties are no more then. Excellent. The Armagina engineers will be most relieved to hear that the plant is no longer in any immediate danger. Thank you again for your assistance. That was easy. You must be anxious for word of your fellows. Lieutenant Alian has reported a sound victory over the main column and informs me that the Scions have already turned their attentions to other duties. All but one, that is. The Rugadin lady with the large axe. It appears she's chosen to remain at the site of battle. I don't know what task keeps her from returning to civilization, but Northern Vanaland is no place to wander alone, even for a capable sort such as her. I'd certainly feel better about things if you check in on her before you continue on your way. I mean, I like Moonbreeder, so we're gonna go check on her. And maybe give her a smooch. Oh, for God's sake. Who do you think you are? Attacking me like you're somebody.
Hold on, I won't be a second. The beast seemed peckish, so I gave it a taste of my axe. I know, as Eorzea never tires of reminding me. An axe ill becometh the hand of a scholar. What can I say? I like axes. To hear my mother tell it, I came into this world holding one. And it's not as if it stopped me picking up a quill, is it? I often think of the man who introduced me to the joys of learning. He's one of the reasons I decided to come to Eorzea. Him and my excruciatingly stiff childhood friend. Considering how unalike we are, it's a wonder we ever got on. The world's a strange old place, isn't it? Aye, that ought to do it.
Ooh.
So far, so good. At these concentrations, it shouldn't matter too much if something goes awry. Just enough ether to make it interesting. Did you see that? The way the crystal glowed? The siphon works, I'm happy to say. With a few refinements, it should satisfy our appetite for ether, which just leaves the small matter of forging our blade. I'm not sure how to go about it just yet, but I swear to find a way. I'll put a blade in your hands if it's the last thing I do.
She senses me. A useful talent.
Hanassian, are they onto us?
By your brand, I see you are an Archon of Sharlayan, keeper of knowledge, seeker of truth. Meddler.
I don't know what the hell's you're saying, but I don't much like your tone.
Your instincts serve you well. But come, be not unsettled on my account. That lovely brow was not made for frowns. But I waste my breath. Let me direct my words to one who understands them. We meet at last, warrior of light. I am Nabriales. And you have long been a thorn in my side. I suffered the overweening presence of La Habrea that men might host the power of gods, only for you to undo my hard work.
Oh, bugger.
Do settle down. You must concede that I acted in self-defense. But what's this? I do not sense the blessing of light. Oh dear. Could it be that frail Hydaelyn has forgotten her champion? This I did not foresee.
Well, actually...
Shorn of light as you are no longer a threat. And now is the time to claim the staff. With it in my grasp, I shall rise above them all and take my place at Lord Zodiac's right hand.
What did that bastard want with us? Nabriales, he calls himself. With charm like that, I'll bet he has maidens falling at his feet, unconscious. But this staff, you say just talking about it had the bastard grinning like a brat on his name day. Must be quite a staff. Oh, gods! He means Tupsimati, Master Louis Soir's staff! Minfilia's in danger! We have to get back to the Rising Stones!
That we do! We must away! I have been summoned. Oh, fucking hell! Oh! That's unfortunate. Sorry, Rando. I would rescue you, but I've got things to do. Onward! We must save Minfilia once again. You're here! Master Louis Soir's staff is kept in the solar, isn't it? Quickly now.
You too!
So, you were able to divine my intent. What now, warrior of light? But that name is no longer fitting. You have become decidedly dull, and quite incapable of barring my entry.
What do you mean?
You truly do not know? Then I suppose it is only right that I enlighten you. The blessing of light kept you and your fellow meddlers safe. It was that which prevented my kind from entering your domain. My kind, I say, though it had no power over the likes of Elidibus and La Habrea. Being of this world, they could come and go as they please, while I could only look on. But I need look no longer. Now that the seal is gone, I mean to act. Unlike the others, I am not given to waiting. I shall take that staff and bring about the next rejoining.
Rejoining? Then it was your doing. The Isle of Val, the scholars, all of it.
You will not harm her!
Moonbreeder!
Why must you insist on forcing my hand? Did you learn nothing from our last meeting? Ah, but I forget. My words fall upon deaf ears.
The staff is but a broken relic, a memorial to the departed. What possible use could you have for it?
What use? You mean to say that all this time you kept the key, never knowing what it was you possessed? The staff Tupsimati, or rather the stone tablet it bears, is host to a great power. Together with the horn, it can be used to draw vast quantities of ether from its bearer's surroundings. How else do you think Louis Soir was able to invoke the power of the 12 without making them an offering of crystals? Summoning requires not only prayer, but a profusion of ether. Even a child knows that.
If I did not know before, you may be certain I do now. But above all, I know that we cannot allow this staff to fall into your hands. I will die before I let you take it.
Insufferable woman. I would happily end your miserable life here and now. Alas, Elidibus would never let me hear the end of it. Very well. If you will not part with the staff, I will take you too.
Alright, well, rip. I am a healer! Heal, Moonbreeder! This frustrates me so much!
After them! Quickly! Before the rift closes!
Yay, my least favorite boss slash fight. Oh, this one's just not fun. Where is it? Am I being dumb? Chrysalis. There it is! You alright there, Moonbreeder? Oh dear. And we wait, and we wait, and we wait, and we wait. like a change. Come on! Come on! Not that hard to find a groove, I'm a healer. Welcome back, Cantanos! How are you? Ooh, that sounds good. It's everybody's favorite duty. As you said that, the coupon. Never mind. My work here is done. And also alternate balls. I need to alternate the balls. Someone's already dead. Oh my god, no, Han. I would go nuts after that. Laser beam. Ow. Ow. Family friendly no has been holding you. Sir, dare you? The laser beam. Ah! Curse you, Kevin. I'll remember this. If it weren't for you meddling kids. I got one.
You're safe. Thank the 12.
You may have bested me this day, but what of the next? What of all the days to come? Remember, light no longer holds sway here. I may return whensoever I wish, again and again and again. Eventually, you will falter, and the staff will be mine. Until next time, scions.
There will be no next time. This is the end.
What trickery is this? No. No! Cannot! No!
No!
Use Tup Samati to gather ether. Quickly, before he breaks free! Concentrate! Call to mind the time you struck down La Habrea with the Blade of Light. Why won't it work? Is it because we lack the blessing of light?
Damn it. So much ether. And it still isn't enough.
Fools! No mortal prison can contain me. I shall make you pay for your insolence.
Please, Mother Heidelin, hearken to our plea. Lend us your divine light. Why can you not hear us? Do our words no longer reach you?
If only we had a bit more ether.
Moonbreeder, what are you doing?
Master Louisoix, I understand now. The choice you made in death. There is life. Farewell, Eorzea. You daft old coot.
Moonbreeder, no! You mustn't!
What? No! It cannot end! I am eternal! I am immortal!
Moonbreeder. She's gone. You did it, my friend. The Ascian is dead.
Up.
This device is a legacy of Moonbreeder's toils and sacrifice. I shall hold on to it for safekeeping.
Minthelia, are you all right?
I am.
Oh, we were surveying northern Thanalan when we received the distress call. We returned as swiftly as we were able.
It seems you have everything in hand, however.
What happened here? Where is Moonbreeder?
She gave her life to temper the Blade of Light. I have no words.
Rather than await the inevitable, she took her fate into her own hands.
I didn't hear the noise. Sorry, I'm deaf, by the way. Oh, God. I'm going to fix my blurb, because it has not been playing for me lately. I need to figure out why.
Does Eorzea know?
No, Eorzea does not fucking know, Ida. That's a stupid question. Weird. I'll have to look into that. Sorry about that. Thank you for the bits, though.
My friend, there is something I must tell you.
I heard all, my lady.
Can we give Eorzea a cuddle, please?
The moon sinketh, taking her leave of the heavens. Yet her passing heraldeth the coming of a new day. Moonbreeder hath fulfilled her destiny, hath she not? Long ago, far across the seas in the Sharlayan motherland, Moonbreeder and I did study under the sage tutelage of Master Louisoix. Full oft did he impress upon us that knowledge existeth to serve the greater good. This sentiment, however, was contrary to the nation's policy of neutrality, which censured intercedence in the affairs of foreign lands. In spite of vehement opposition, he founded the Circle of Knowing, and journeyed hither to the heart of Eorzea. Through his noble sacrifice was the realm spared its doom. Yet this great soul, whom all should rightly have honored, was branded a pariah in his own land. His peers did accuse him of forsaking his duty as a man of learning, and of meddling in the course of history. When he left Sharlayan behind, Master Louisoix gave no word to signal his intent to Moonbreeder. Close as they were, as master and disciple, she was deeply wounded by the sudden exclusion from his confidence. Above all, however, she was confused. Try as she might, she could ill comprehend her master's motive. The slanders that were heaped upon him after his passing served only to inflame the turmoil within her. For years upon end, she knew not what to believe. Torn as she was twixt the man whom she revered, and the man who forsook her and his duty both.
The Louisoix I knew would never forsake his duty, much less one of his own.
This I know full well, my lady. 'Twas not for want of love that Master Louisoix hid his intent. He but desired that Moonbreeder discover her own path, free of the shadow of his influence. Long did I contemplate revealing the truth to her, and long did I hold my peace. After all, was it not Master Louisoix's wish that she come to the truth unaided? I told myself it was, and resolved to let her suffer. Knowingly did I deny my friend the comfort she craved. And now she hath gone to her rest, with doubt still in her heart. Speakest thou in earnest? Did Moonbreeder truly come to understand Master Louisoix's will before the end? The realization hath set her free. She may now find the peace which hath for so long eluded her. Oh, Moonbreeder, my dearest, how I shall miss thee.
Yeah, I just want to give him a hug.
Moonbreeder gave her life that we might possess the means to defeat the Ascians. Her sacrifice must not be in vain. Let us continue her work on the Blade of Ether and see it to completion.
My lady, I would mourn Moonbreeder in mine own way. I beg your permission to return to the Waking Sands.
Of course, my friend. Take all the time you require. We shall be here should you have need of us.
Maybe no. Never have I seen Eorzea so utterly defeated. No one should be made to suffer such grief. We shall gather in the Sharlayan Manor to celebrate Morbrida's life and mourn her passing. You're getting them materia for it, though. Oh, dear. One quest to go, and then we'll be done for this evening. As Morbrida was a native of Sharlayan, I feel it's only fitting that we gather before the Mark of the Scholar. Are you familiar with the stone? It is a monument found at Wraithfrost, and is sacred to Phaliac, guardian deity of the City of Learning. There shall we pray for our dear friend's soul, and bid her a peaceful return to the light of the Mother Crystal. Next stream's going to be a long one, because we're going to be tackling the big final patch of ARR. And there's a lot of cutscenes, and a lot of dialogue. In fact, I actually don't think it has any dungeons. No, it does. Oh, no. Yeah, no, it doesn't. No, it has one, the Steps of Faith. That's fine. And then we'll be into Heaven's Ward. And I can unlock Astrologian. Big stretch. That cutscene. I will not be doing a 9.5-hour stream. That's why I'm breaking this up into chunks, because I knew this one wasn't that long. Oh, thank God you have flying now for this. I did this when you didn't have flying. Already done the raids. Already done the raids. We already did. Remember we did Crystal Tower, remember? You, me, and Fen. Handanos! Do you not remember? Fucking magic. What time is it? Oh, it is like 10:15. My God. Whoops. Why an ad? Ah, it's fine, whatever. It's whatever.
Forgive me, Moonbreeder. Had I been quicker or wiser, but I was not, and you paid the price. But you would not suffer us to wallow in our sorrow, would you? You would tell us to pick ourselves up and get on with it. And so we shall. We shall defend this realm and her people to the last.
Life for death, a fair exchange. Other bargains will be struck.
Pocket Doug. Though we have said our farewells, the pool of sadness has diminished but little. Forgive me, as antecedent it is my job to be the pillar of strength for all others to lean upon. Yet I also believe the grief we feel now is precious in its own way, and not to be lightly swept aside. Do you not agree, Luna? It is as if a dagger has been thrust into my breast. 'Tis a pain we must learn to bear if we're to forge ahead with our duty. The battles we have fought have taken the lives of so many. Louis Soir, Moonbreeder, our fellows at the Waking Sand. Their spirit and dedication to our cause, however, will not be lost as long as we rise to fight once more. I hardly need remind you of this, of course. It is for my own benefit that I repeat these words, a reaffirmation of mine own chosen path. If I do not rebuild the foundations of my resolve, I am like to collapse in a fit of weeping. My apologies again, Luna. There is no other to whom I could display such weakness. You are my pillar of strength, and I fear I shall have need of your steadfast presence in the days to come. The victory won, comrade lost, to honour the fallen the living forge on towards the light of a new day.